On Oak Island, brothers Rick and Marty Lagena and their team are digging a 19th century searcher shaft in the fabled Money Pit area to uncover answers to a 230-year-old mystery. They believe that they will find a large amount of wood at the bottom of the hole, which could lead to the discovery of coins or even an authentic chest. In 1861, members of the Oak Island Association drilled through two stacked treasure chests at a depth of nearly 110 feet in the original Money Pit. To reach them, they dug an adjacent shaft, Shaft 6, down to a depth of 118 feet. However, their efforts failed when seawater rushed in just before reaching their target, forcing them to abandon Shaft 6 and cause the chests to collapse, leaving a debris field and valuables inside the tunnel. The team is now digging a second shaft, RP2 northeast of RP1, with the hope of recovering the contents of the two legendary treasure chests. Rick and Marty are excited about the prospect of finding evidence of the Shaft 6 tunnel, such as iron straps potentially related to wooden containers and a pipe stem dating back to the late 17th century. They are now digging a second shaft, RP2, just northeast of RP1, in hopes of intercepting the Shaft 6 tunnel. A big piece of wood, possibly adze cut, has been found near the tunnel, which they believe is a barrel. Adze cut wood, an ancient cutting tool, was long used in construction until mechanized saws were invented in the late 18th century. The timber, similar to the previously found wooden dowel, could have come from the original Money Pit. During the collapse of the original Money Pit in 1861, a worker recovered the top of a wooden keg or barrel just before escaping with his life. This has led many to speculate that the Money Pit may have contained barrels full of possible valuables. The team is working on a new project, which involves drilling through the Shaft 6 tunnel. They are cutting through a hard material that has increased pressure from 130 to 160 feet, which could be something they don't know anything about. The team is now at 116 feet with the casing teeth, and the pressure is going up, suggesting they are cutting into something harder. The team is getting closer to the bottom of the tunnel, but there is no big chunks of coinage. The team is now in situ, and they are done. However, the recovery of in situ soils is a troubling development, as it may mean that the obstruction in RP2 was the bottom of the Shaft 6 tunnel. The team is now digging through undisturbed earth below their target area. Vanessa asks Rick to get him up to speed, and Rick confirms that they are through the hard material. He believes they are in situ soil at this point, and they need to locate the next can over the tunnel. They have one more shot at this area, and they are not giving up. Rick believes that what they found in RP1 convinced them that a significant collapse had happened. In RP2, they found evidence of different constructs, such as the keg and barrel stave, which raised expectations but were not borne out. They have high hopes for the next can location. Despite the bad news, they are still on track. Rick wants to set up over the tunnel again, and Martha suggests that if RP2 partway down the tunnel has evidence of original Money Pit things but no treasure, they might find something if they get one stage closer between Shaft 6 and the Money Pit. Rick is completely on board with this plan. Emma Culligan has discovered an artifact on Oak Island that could be linked to the legendary treasure hunter Sir William Phipps. During a normal dig, she pulled something from the ground that was far from ordinary, more like a pin than a nail. The metal was found to be older than most things found in the open today, and it turned out to be the first real proof of Phipps's lost treasure. The chemical makeup of the metal, especially the aluminum-silicon ratio, matches stuff found in colonial America, which is a big name with ties to treasure. The Oak Island crew has been poking around the Money Pit and its surrounding areas for years, chasing old stories and half-buried wooden beams. If the pin-like thing matches known artifacts linked to Phipps, it becomes a full-blown clue that could lead straight to the missing treasure everyone swore was lost forever. As the team continues to explore the island, they start finding wooden structures, fragments, and what looks like remains of an old tunnel. As they go deeper, the wood doesn't match newer builds, and the wood doesn't match newer builds. This is because everything is starting to connect old tunnels, reinforced beams, buried metal objects with historical fingerprints. The team is now running on actual science and patterns that make sense, as the island is finally giving up pieces of a story it has been hiding for centuries. The team is not just running on guesswork anymore, but they are running on actual science and patterns that make sense. Oak Island, a small island in Nova Scotia, has been a subject of fascination for over 200 years. The island's inhabitants have been digging for treasure, hoping to find something significant that would change everything. However, the discovery of iron bits and other known items from William Phipps's expeditions led them to believe that the island was standing on top of something even stranger. The digging crew continued to uncover more wood and pieces, which they believed were part of a shaft. Some of the wood seemed to have been moved from somewhere else, possibly after a collapse, possibly carrying something big underground. Now these pieces are coming back up in the hammer, indicating that the island is finally giving up its grip. The people digging on Oak Island have been chasing this moment for years, and now they feel like they are standing right on the edge of it. This moment is different from previous finds, as most of the finds are corroded bits of nail. Each find adds a piece to the bigger picture, making each find like another word in a story that has been trying to speak for over 200 years. One small piece of metal found by Emma Culligan might be the first real sign that Phipps left something behind, something he did not want anyone to stumble across. It could be the first thread in something much bigger, making everything else start to make sense. This thought keeps people awake at night and brings them back to Oak Island again and again, even when the weather is bad. In conclusion, the discovery of Oak Island has changed the tone of the search for treasure, and it is time to look at why people have been digging on the island for over 200 years. In 1795, 3 curious teens discovered a deep hole in the ground and started digging, hoping to find something fun or useful. They found a deep hole with wooden platforms every 10 feet down, which they named the Money Pit Boom. This place has swallowed millions of dollars, gear, and lives for what they found. Some people believe it was man-made to hide something valuable, while others believe it was created by nature. People have turned Oak Island into a giant underground maze, finding objects like copper coins, lead crosses, bits of paper, and old tools. Some even claim Shakespeare's lost plays are buried there. However, there is zero proof, and people continue to speculate about the island's history. Oak Island has been a subject of speculation, with theories ranging from pirates to travelers from far-off places. The curse, which claims 7 people must die before treasure shows up, has been sold as a book and TV show. Today, fancy tools, ground scanners, sonar, and robots have been used to explore the island. But no jackpot remains. Oak Island's ownership is another mess, with different people owning parts of the island over the years. Laws are also tricky, with Nova Scotia having a rule book for treasure hunting that slows everything down. Despite these challenges, people continue to turn the island into entertainment through books, documentaries, and TV shows. The real treasure lies in the obsession it creates as people pour time, money, and emotion into the muddy mystery. People have been poking around the island for over 200 years, digging holes, dropping cash, and coming up with strange things. Oak Island, a popular tourist destination, has been the subject of numerous discoveries over the years. In 1795, teens noticed a dip in the ground that started the Money Pit, which they thought was onto something big. They thought it was pirates hiding gold or an old construction site. However, no treasure chest was found. In 1804, another crew, the Enslow Company, claimed they found a rock with weird letters, which some believe was a code for treasure. A tablet vanished ages ago, and whispers of a stone at 90 feet deep with odd carvings were also mentioned. In the 1890s, a piece of a gold chain was found, but it didn't equal mountains of loot. In 1897, a tiny scrap of old paper with the letters VA or RE turned up, which could have been a shopping list. In 1976, cameras went down a borehole 10x, and people squinted at the blurry footage, believing they saw boxes or bones. In 2017, a lead cross appeared at Smith's Cove, possibly from the Knights Templar. A year later, a fancy brooch with a red gem turned up, said to be 400 to 500 years old. In 2019, a hinge was found, likely from a box well-laid. But unless it came with a treasure map, it's just another metal part. In 2022, a Spanish copper coin showed up old money, but it doesn't scream buried fortune. In 2023, a keyhole plate on Lot 8 suggested a fancy chest was once there, but no chest was found. Over the years, wood, tunnels, platforms, bits of construction, and tools like axes, shovels, and picks have been found, suggesting people were working or looking for something. Some believe it's just old-school engineering gone, while others question whether we are being led away from something even bigger, hidden beneath Oak Island.